Hey everybody, Dave Andewally from Area 224. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. I'm going to do what I think is appropriate in a book that has recently come out. I got it right when it came out. It's called UnMarketing by a gentleman named Scott Stratten. As it says here, stop marketing, start engaging. So what I thought I would do is something very appropriate, and I've not been compensated for this. In fact, I purchased my own copy of the book. So, I mean, I'm totally free to say whatever it is I want. But in this case, I'm going to do what I would say is an unbook report, because I read this and I felt as if, since I've been following this Scott Stratten character for the past couple of years, I got it. So I didn't feel as if I needed to pour through everything with a fine-tooth comb, unlike some of the other books that are out there that I think are worth referring to over and over again. This one reads in a breezy fashion, which is a good thing for those of us with short attention span. But why I'm making this an unbook review is very simple. I'm not going to brag. I have 10,000 plus followers on Twitter, and that really doesn't, that does not make me part of the literati. I don't care. I have more than some people and a lot less than a lot of other people, and really it doesn't matter. But why this is an unbook report is my own Twitter story about Scott Stratten is that he was the very first person to send me what's called a direct message on Twitter. Now, if you've been on Twitter, you know what it's like to get a DM. You know how automated these things are. You know how people are always trying to sell multi-level marketing crap and check out this link and blah, blah, blah. And what's interesting is that Scott sent me a note and said, "Hi Dave, welcome to Twitter. How is it treating you so far?" Now, this would be anathema these days, because if you're not personally sending someone a link that says, buy this hair cream product, or drink this berry from the Amazon or Antarctica or whatever it is, there's no sense in sending somebody a direct message. And this was back before all of the automation. So the guy actually sent me a note to welcome me to Twitter. And I remembered it. I remembered that this is the first person that I ever interacted with on Twitter. So that's one thing. The other thing about the book, I didn't feel I needed to read the chapter where he talks about his tweet-a-thon, because if you remember the first tweet-a-thon that Scott did, they raised some sort of insane amount of money for a hunger-related organization. It was all done in a 24-hour period. But I was doing a webinar for people on how to use Twitter, and I sent Scott a note and said, "Can you share some results?" And I got back a note saying, "Well, yes, here's some results, and this is what happened, and look at this, and here's my email address, and feel free to reach out to me at any time. If you have questions, call me here." So, yeah, do you need to read this book? Well, sure. If you want to learn some, what's kind of, I hate to say this about this book, but I'll say it because a lot of this is just common sense. Don't treat people like they're idiots. Don't treat people like you're better than them. Just treat people like people. Treat people like, this is kind of a golden rule sort of book, in that, treat people on these new emerging digital channels the way you would want to be treated on these new emerging digital channels. So, I gotta tell you, I highly recommend the book, but I also highly recommend the guy behind the book, and maybe that's part of my bias. The book's called UnMarketing. Scott Stratten's the guy who wrote it, and we encourage you to check it out.